Hi, you guys. Today we're going to be working on Chapter 2, Lesson 2. Chapter 2, Lesson 2 is solving two-step equations. And just like it says, each equation will have two steps. So the thing to remember when you're solving equations is this. To solve an equation, you're going to use PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. You do parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, then add, subtract. So parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, and subtract. When you are solving an equation, you work PEMDAS backwards. You're actually going to do the add, subtract first, then you're going to do the multiply and divide. The parentheses exponents, we're not going to worry about that. They're not going to show up right now. But the add, subtract, multiply, and divide. So this is what we're going to do. So if you're given an equation, for instance, that is 3x plus 2 equals 20, you have to ask yourself what is being done to your x. So the two things that are happening to x is we're multiplying by 3 and we're adding 2. Well, I want to get x alone. In order to get x alone, I've got to get this term by itself. Since I'm adding 2, I need to get rid of that. And the opposite of adding 2, or the opposite of positive 2, is negative 2. So I'm going to put a negative 2 here, and here's my fence. Now you remember, I told you yesterday, you have to put one thing on each side of the equal sign. So if you don't remember, just put up a fence through the equal sign and keep your yard separate. 2 minus 2 is 0, so we have 3x here. Our equal sign is still here, and 20 minus 2 is 18. Now you're going to remember those 9 little words that I told you. Divide by the number in front of the letter. So 3 is in front of x, it's multiplying. The opposite of multiplying is to divide. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 1 times x is x. You've got 18 divided by 3, which is 6. So x equals 6. How do we know it's right? 3x plus 2 equals 20. So I'm going to put the 6 where the x was. I'm going to substitute it in there. 3 times 6 is 18, and 18 plus 2 equals 20. 18 plus 2 is 20, and 20 equals 20. It works. So I know that my answer is correct because I've done the math. I solved the problem to get the x. I then placed it back into the original equation and checked the math. The right side and the left side are equal to each other, and therefore my answer works. The only number in the world that will work in this equation is 6. Let's try that again. So we're going to start this time with 5 plus 2n equals negative 1. So again, I'm solving for this. I have to get rid of that 5. The opposite of a positive 5 is negative 5. So I'm going to come down, and I'm bringing down what I have left on this side, bring down my equal sign. Negative 1 and negative 5 is negative 6. I'm now going to divide by the number in front of the letter. So divide by 2, and that says x equals negative 3. Notice my equations are funneling to an answer. So to check my work, I'm going back to the original equation, which is 5 plus 2n equals negative 1. I'm going to put my negative 3 in here. 5 plus 2 times negative 3 would be negative 6. Bring this side down. Positive 5 and negative 6 equals negative 1. And I already have negative 1 on this side. Right side equals left side. My problem checks. So the answer n equals negative 3. All right. So what if we change this up a little bit and do something with a fraction? Say we had 10 minus 2/3 p equals 52. I'm going to put a box around my variables just so I can keep my focus on it. I'm going to look outside my box. I've got this 10. The opposite of a positive 10 is negative 10. Negative 10 on both sides of the equal sign. This is going to cancel. I have negative 2/3 p equals 42. Now this problem looks like what I did last night. I have a rational coefficient, and I'm going to multiply both sides by its multiplicative inverse. So the inverse of negative 2/3 is negative 3/2. I have to do it on both sides, so I put one over here. This is going to cancel and leave p. And now I'm going to either multiply 42 times negative 3 and divide by 2, or since multiply and divide come evenly, I'm going to divide 42 by 2 to get 21, and then I'm going to multiply 21 times negative 3 to get negative 63. I'm going to check my work. 10 minus 2/3 x equals 52. I'm sorry, p. P is negative 63. 10 negative negative makes it positive. 3 goes into 6 2 times. 3 goes into 3 1 time. So I've already taken care of the negative negative to make it positive. 2 times 21 is 42. 10 plus 42 is 52. And I already have 52 on this side. Left side equals right side. Answer checks. All right, let's try this again. What if I started with n divided by negative 3 minus 2 equals negative 18? So first thing, I box my variable. I put my fence up. I'm going to look to see what's outside my box, which is negative 2. So I'm going to add positive 2 because it's the opposite. I'm going to end up with n divided by negative 3 equals negative 18 and positive 2. Different signs, subtract. So 18 minus 2 is 16. 18 is bigger, we keep its sign. This is a division. The opposite of dividing is to multiply. So I'm going to multiply this side by negative 3. I'm going to multiply this side by negative 3. These are going to cancel, and I'm going to be left with n. Negative times a negative is a positive, and 3 times 16 is 48. Did I do it right? Let's see. 48 divided by negative 3 minus 2 equals negative 18. Positive divided by a negative is a negative. 3 goes into 4 one time with 1 left over. 3 goes into 18 6 times. Bring down my negative 2. Negative 16 and negative 2 combine to give me negative 18, and that's what this side says. Negative 18, check. Okay? It's really important that you guys understand how to do the check. Even if I'm not requiring it, you should know how to do it. Okay? So let me give you one more problem to look at. You have a minus 4 divided by 5 equals 12. This is a division. So if I'm solving for a, the first thing I have to do is get rid of this divide. I do that by multiplying. These are going to cancel, and I'll be left with a minus 4. 12 times 5 is 60. I'm going to solve for a by adding 4, or putting a positive 4 on both sides, and a equals 64. So if A is 64, I have 64 minus 4. That gives me 60 divided by 5 equals 12, and 60 divided by 5 does equal 12, and I know my answer is correct. Okay? You got to check your work. So this is how you go about checking your work. This is how you go about solving multi-step equations. Think about what you've got. Think about what your variable is. Think about what actions are happening in the equation, and then undo what was done by doing the opposite operation. All right, I hope this helps, and I hope that you understand how to do this. Come see me in office hours if you need more help.